So we hit a lot on impingement, AC joint, SC joint, and a little bit of rotator cuff too. Okay, picking up with biceps tendinopathy. Okay, like I said earlier, the long head crosses the shoulder and the elbow joint. So therefore it gets a little bit, works a little bit more than the short head, and that's the one that you're mainly going to find a lot of the tendinitis in. And it can be in conjunction with other problems because they're overcompensating maybe with the biceps rather than using the whole shoulder. Okay, so once that tendon gets weakened, that can have an effect where you can actually get the biceps tendon rupture, and usually the long head will be at that proximal end where the tendon will just rupture up, and you'll usually see like a little bit of a retraction of the tendon. It'll be like a little ball. You can also, I've also seen that a lot in the pec minor, pec major too. So seeing is
So what's going on?
you can see it right at the end of the session.
Oh.
So his is at the distal end, but I don't think he understood that.
You say you're trying to shake it out.
Oh, not again.
Put some dirt on it.
So Jack in that video from him before you get out of here.
What?
I'm so Jack in that video from him before you get out of here.
We have it now. Right?
No, is it on this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So I thought it was better.
That is so nice. Shake it up.
So yeah, sudden forceful contraction, it pulls that either from the proximal or distal end. And you'll see that big bulge in the muscle, kind of like what you just saw with them. Okay, so here's an example of like what the MRI will show. The retracted fibers from the biceps tendon up in the top left, and then also you can see all the edema. This is from the proximal end too. So we're going to get into a little bit about overhead throwing athletes, especially specific to the baseball pitcher. Let me show you this video first.
Watch how he keeps his hands going.
This is just a
That keeps his hands in motion.
unfortunate
Hit sharply
injury.
right back at the mound.
So
Outstanding play by Corey Williams.
it's not an overhead
Down,
throwing injury, but
throws
it's
the
not a
ball
small
angrily.
injury,
Wesley
so-
applies the tag on Maddox, and Williams still down.
You'll see.
I mean, the presence of mind on this thing is amazing. Gets hit with the liner,
Lovely
somehow
commentary.
keeps his presence of mind of finishing off the play.
Oh.
This is amazing how he just even thinks.
Still throws it. Gets him out.
Those
I
guys are great.
know they show it one more time. But he gets right hit on that kneecap and ends up breaking the patella.
Maddox keeps his hands back. And really.
Good combo breaker.
What team was that for?
Well, that tells you a lot about the kid, the way he finished that play off.
It was one of the greatest plays I've seen.
Oh, high school students
We've
down
seen players hit, we've seen pitchers hit.
The greatest player.
His reaction,
I can't wait.
Good night.
Yeah, that is great.
Okay, so talking about a little bit of mechanics, when they're pitching, so like we talked about with impingement, like getting that shoulder up here before, above the 90-degree angle right here, causes that impingement. So if you're looking at a baseball pitcher and they're compensating for their shoulder and they're getting over 90 rather than lean with the other shoulder and then you get it out, so that way it's not getting above 90. So that's just like a few cues. So like if you're pitching and then you like lean like this, you're still getting that above 90. But if you get it like that, you can lean with that other shoulder, and then that way it's not getting as far and you're not impinging that as much. And also, I think it's common in baseball where they'll lower the number of reps for pitchers like per week, but if they're having like the correct form and they're doing everything right, it really doesn't matter as long as like they're doing it right rather than the number of reps. So, bottom line, just make sure that they're doing the right form, and then a few of you will actually we'll talk about it later, but I want you guys to look at baseball pitchers, softball pitchers, and then like a tennis serve, and you guys will be evaluating the biomechanics and like do a little analysis behind which muscles will be overused more versus between which athlete and how you treat each one too. Okay, so Leno heroes, subluxations, dislocations, fun stuff. So these are, you can get the slap lesions, and then under the dislocations, these are the different complications you can have with them versus whether it dislocated backwards or anterior posteriorly, and then where the tear in the labrum is, and then what other structures are accompanied with that. So right here you can see it's dislocated. And I'll show you guys.
And so you're going to play with them a couple minutes and see their games and size them up.
Hammer takes a shot over the 7-footer, digs it.
So this is one way you can get a little dislocation. They'll replay it, and then I'll show you a different mechanism too.
Watch Jamal here. We talk about street ball all the time, over the top.
Okay, well, that's just a good move.
I mean, that stuff you see on videos, on YouTube. Well,
You'll
not
see
YouTube,
right
like
when he
that.
falls. Like,
Oh, God.
I don't like this canter.
so the commentator doesn't even realize he gets hurt. He's going to show a good
Left
move.
shoulder that's
But
extended.
No, it's this.
Oh, yeah, you can tell. You can tell right on that
Shoulders out, yeah.
Shoulders out. And it's going to have to be a timeout. I mean, Cantor's a tough one. I don't think he's ever been injured that I know of, and he doesn't know what to think. As he really fought for this loose ball.
Okay, so you'll see
No,
right
you
when
love the
he
hustle, but
goes
this is where
down
it gets
and
dangerous,
falls.
is you get your arm under there, and then Hadidi just falls on top of him right here.
That part.
You know, this could be a serious injury.
Better view.
Because what happens now,
There.
you pop that back in, but he might have to miss the time now.
You know, he was trying to get that move to work, and I don't know if he knew what exactly had happened.
So his arm's kind of going out, and it's not in the normal 90-90 position that you see a lot of dislocations, but still kind of got it a little bit.
And Dan Crawford just told Ty, look, if he goes full, you know he's done for the court, or done for the game.